Lawmakers on Wednesday sharply criticized long-announced U.S. Army plans to cut nearly 60,000 soldiers and civilian personnel due to tight budgets, warning it was risky and short-sighted at a time of Middle East conflict and rising tensions with Russia. Senator John McCain, the Republican head of the Armed Services Committee, called the decision to cut 40,000 soldiers and 17,000 civilian personnel another dangerous consequence of budget-driven strategy pursued by President Barack Obama. Republican presidential contender Jeb Bush told veterans in Hudson, New Hampshire, that the United States can't lead without a strong military, and pursuit of the planned cuts would leave the country with the smallest army that we've had since the start of World War II. The cuts would reduce the active duty army from about 490,000 soldiers to about 450,000. The Army had 490,000 soldiers before the 2001 attacks, a number that rose to about 570,000 in 2010 before reductions began.
Now to this story this morning, as the United States cuts our armed forces, despite growing concerns about multiple overseas threats that we face, the Army plans to cut 40,000 troops over the next couple of years in a move that could affect virtually all U.S. domestic and foreign posts. This comes as the Pentagon works to cut spending. Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters is a Fox News strategic analyst and the author of Valley of the Shadow is his latest. Ralph, good morning. Good to have you with us today.
Hi, Martha.
So how will this work and who will go?
Combat veterans will go so that we can preserve money for weapons that don't work. It's a tragedy. Martha, we have this wonderful cadre now of soldiers who have been in combat, who know how to lead, have real expertise, the best of the best. And we're going to put them out in the street so we can preserve systems such as the F-35, wildly troubled, going to cost over $1 trillion. And the core of the problem is this. Members of Congress love to puff up their chests and praise the troops and pose for campaign photos with them. When it comes time to vote, the average soldier and Marine just does not have a constituency on Capitol Hill. The money goes to the contractors. And we should take a lesson from Islamic State, because that's the kind of wars we're going to be fighting most routinely. We have to be ready for big ones. We must be. But these dirty little wars and dirty not so little wars are human intensive. And Islamic State hasn't won its spectacular victories with sophisticated equipment. They don't have fighter jets. They don't have drones. They have tough troops willing to fight on the ground. And what we're doing is relying on technology, overly on technology. I mean, technology is great. I want a strong Air Force. I want a strong Navy. But look at what our air power has not achieved in the Middle East. Islamic State, for all the technology we've thrown at it, they are still on the march. And at the end of the day, it is the soldier and Marine that makes a decisive difference. For all the wonderful efforts of our bombers in World War II, it took boots on the ground to cross the Rhine and march east and link up with the Soviets.